Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, of course, a brand new episode of LEGO Jurassic World Custom Dinos. Of course, I hope you guys are having a fan-flipping-tastic day. Welcome on back. It's been a little while. I think I've taken about almost a week off since I've made one of the Custom Dinos episodes, so I do apologize about that, but we are back stronger than ever. So, of course, if you guys enjoy the return of Custom Dinos, please don't forget to hit the little like button. We've got Creepy Scientist Phil to help us out. I don't know why. This guy looks like a perfect, like, super villain for some reason. Like, all white with the little name card, the beard and everything, the bizarre looking haircut and everything. He just looks absolutely awesome and terrifying as a bad guy, but he isn't because he's just Scientist Phil. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcome back. Today, it's going to be a bit of a controversial episode because coming off the heels of the last Custom Dinos, which actually featured a Godzilla design, a lot of you guys said, hey, what are you doing? Godzilla is black and dark gray. He's not green and dark green. And for some reason, like, I looked back at pictures and I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe, especially like the new Godzilla, yes, he's a lot more black than green. But for some reason, I always had the notion that he was like lightish or darkish green. And I looked back, there were Godzillas that were much more green than black. So it's not like I was completely inaccurate. But with that in mind, I thought to myself, you know what? We're going to redo Godzilla and we will do him up properly. So this is the Godzilla sequel, I guess, is Godzilla 2. And it's going to be pretty exciting. Of course, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions for any other dinos, please don't forget to leave that in the comments section below. Write the dino that you would like to see and maybe also the inspiration and then the dino. So like if you want to do something like today, for example, we're going to be doing a Sonic Velociraptor. So that was somebody submitted their own design for that. So you can either submit your own design or just give me a suggestion of a design. So use the comment section down below to submit those ideas. Thank you so very much for doing so. So, with that in mind, we will begin by redoing our Godzilla design, which, wait, was it this one or did we do this one? I can't remember now. I think it was this one right here. Yeah, the dark green. Okay. So, we obviously need to change up the color. So, our previous look, whoops. Okay, great. Well, that got messed up completely. I just realized that. Yikes. Okay, well, I think we maintained most of the actual look. I think he actually looks exactly the same as he did. So we just need to change the color. The tail actually does look different. We need just the regular T-Rex tail. And, oh, no. I thought we had the spiky one, didn't we? Nope, not that one. This one right here, the Stegosaurus. All right, sweet. So now we will try to get Godzilla to a black/dark gray kind of look. So let's see what that will look like. Okay, I think we're gonna go with the all black and then use the gray as highlights like this, almost to create kind of scales. So I think that's a lot more appropriate. I think, well, actually, let's try this one right here. Whoops. Yeah, that's more brownish. It's too brown. So I think we'll stick with that. So there you go. I hope for those of you that wanted to see the black/dark gray Godzilla, I hope you guys are going to be a lot more happy, which is good because I love that you guys pointed it out. I love that you guys were like, hey, listen, you know what? I think you should redesign and go back and redo that one because it's not what Godzilla looks like, especially the most modern Godzilla, the most modern version of Godzilla, which was, what, 2014? Or 13? When did that movie come out? I don't remember. I think 14. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Almost 100% certain. But nonetheless, we now move on to a custom submission from you lovely folks. Of course, if you want to submit, as I said before, you can definitely use the comments section below. But here we go. So for today's custom submission, we have Brady Wright, who sends in a Sonic the Velociraptor. So we will go to the Raptor class. And then we will re-customize our dino. Oh, whoa. Before we do that, I completely... You see, it's been a whole, like, week since I've done this, so I've completely forgotten how to do this properly. I'm sorry, guys. Don't worry. We'll be back to a regular, every kind of bi-daily kind of schedule with this series. So, with that in mind, here is the DNA for, of course, our Godzilla. So, if you wanted to build it yourself, there you go. I forgot to show that before, so I do feel bad about that. My apologies. And with that in mind, we now move on back to our raptor, and we will of course begin by entering the DNA submitted by Brady Wright. So once again, I will just repeat it. Brady Wright sent in this design for Sonic the Velociraptor. Of course, we're probably gonna have to change the scale for this fella because, well, actually, Sonic isn't that small, is he? Like, I'm trying to think back, he isn't a particularly small character, right? So I think maybe this scale would actually work. Who knows? Ooh, that looks awesome. I love that blue. That's very, like, it's got a lot of energy, that blue. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I think that looks quite nice indeed. So here we are, final entry here, TAG, tag, you're it. Whoa! Okay, I like it. I like how you did the little spikes on the back to kind of simulate the Sonic, like, spiky hair. That's sweet. That looks awesome. All right, so that's the DNA, of course. You already saw it right there. That is a submission from Brady Wright for Sonic the Velociraptor. Looks absolutely awesome, Sauce. I think you did a tremendous job. It looks great. All right, and then last but certainly not least, for our final submission for today, for those of you that are huge fans of Pokemon, you are going to be quite happy because we will be indeed recustomizing a Pachycephalosaurus into Rampardos, who, when I looked up at this, I looked at this Pokemon. At first, I don't know why I thought people submitted Ampharos, like, you know, the yellowish evolution of Mareep. Is it Mareep? No. Mareep? The sheep? The little sheep? Mareep, yeah, right? And then it's like Lily something, and then it's Ampharos. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% certain. Nonetheless, I looked up this Pokemon Rampardos, who's from the newer generations, not the newest generation. I think he's one step back, not X and Y, but the one prior to that, so black and white, I think. And I was like, this is, like, it is a Pachycephalosaurus-inspired design, which was amazing. So I was like, perfect, we can do this. It's going to look super duper cool. So thank you for that submission. A lot of you guys sent in that submission. So let's get rocking and rolling with it. So first and foremost, I think we need to kind of keep it the default head. So we're going to go with the, oh, actually, maybe this one right here, because it's got more spikes to it. Let's see. Let's have a look around. I'm not actually sure which one to go with on this. I think either this one or the default one. Let's see. I think this one's better because it's flatter. But then again, when I'm looking at the picture of him, he does have a little bit of spikes on his nose kind of area as well. So we'll go with this. Hopefully that will work out. It's a pretty sweet design. All right, so Pachycephalosaurus head. Then for the body, we need something bulky. So a bigger body would be great. Unfortunately, there isn't anything too bulky. I'm thinking we could either go with this, the Ankylosaurus. We could go with the default, of course, which is kind of the most similar in design. But I think the Spinosaurus is kind of will work as well because Rampardos does have like a little bump on his back. It's not huge, but we can obviously over-exaggerate it because, again, we have to work within the constraints that the game presents us with. So I think that will work out just fine. And then for the tail, we're going to go with a just regular tail because that's the most similar to Rampardos, the Pokemon. All right, so now we get to the coloring area, which is going to be basically blue, dark gray, and maybe a little bit of white. If we can get the spikes on the head to be white, that would be brilliant. So we'll see. All right, so this would turn them white, but that's unfortunately not something that we can afford right now. So let's see. We're going to go with this dark. I'm not sure, actually. I think we'll try this dark gray and then see how it works with a blue color, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I think this will be our blue selection. That's not bad. Okay, let's see. If we make this blue, then make this gray. Okay, this is actually not bad. This kind of looks apropos, so to speak. A little correct, a little correct. I wish there was a way to make the dome on the head blue. That would have been awesome. Let's see. Maybe one of the actual colors could help us with that. Is there anything that could turn the head blue? Yikes. Yeah, I don't think so. The only thing I could think of is if we made this blue, then went back and made everything else gray. But you see, yeah, again, that does not look right. Unless final try, final attempt here is if the patterns can kind of make him more gray. cover more of his body in gray. Yeah, that wouldn't work, unfortunately. Alright, so we gotta go back, change this up again. It's a trial and error kind of process. That's okay. And we will change this to a blue. I think that, well, actually, maybe this blue is nicer. Ooh. That does look cooler, but I don't think it's as accurate. I think this blue is more of the color blue that Rampardos actually has. And I think that's pretty good. I think that that turned out quite well. I actually do like the, is that tiger print that we chose at the end? Yeah, tiger stripes. Okay. Because I think it looks good, kind of blending in and kind of creating a different shade of gray on our Rampardos Pachycephalosaurus. So there's the DNA code for our Rampardos Pachycephalosaurus. And now, of course, it is time to summon in our brand new Godzilla, our brand new Pachycephalosaurus, inspired by Rampardos, the Pokemon. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, Brady writes Sonic the Velociraptor. That sounds like a really cool show, doesn't it? Sonic the Velociraptor, Sonic the Velociraptor. And then you could have like Knuckles the, what could compete with the Velociraptor? Also the Velociraptor? I don't know. Something like that. Wait, why am I... Oh, well, I guess we could summon in a vehicle. By the way, I know a lot of people keep asking for the vehicle video. I started recording it, but it turned out to be 32 minutes long, and I was like, yeah, I don't think people want to watch a vehicle showcase for 32 minutes, so I'm going to try it again and try to shorten it to ideally maybe around 20 minutes. So I'll try to blabber less. So don't worry, it's coming. It will be here. Hopefully, actually, it might be this week. So if you're watching this on Monday, which I hope you are, because I hope that means that I edited it on correct day and uploaded it on the correct day. So I hope that you guys will indeed watch this on Monday. And furthermore, on top of that, of course, this week, you should be seeing the vehicle showcase appear. All right, so let us begin. We will begin with our large, brand new, redone Godzilla or Gojira. All right, maybe that gray was a little bit too bright. I'm thinking maybe I should have chosen the other one, but I think this was the darkest of the grays available. It does look a little bit Venom-esque now that I'm looking at it. It does look a little similar to Venom, but at the same time, I mean, I think that's as good of a color as we can, because we didn't have something like in between dark gray and black. I wish there was like kind of like really saturated gray, so it's almost black, but not quite this dark black. I think that would have worked really well. But within the constraints that we have, this is our redesigned, our reimagined Godzilla. And I have to say, I think I may like this one a little bit better. I think we need to create the other green Godzilla and then have them two fight. And then it will be a great fight. Or we could design like a Dimorphodon. No, not Dimorphodon. Pterodon that looks like Mothra. And then have them two fight. And that would be absolutely spectacular, wouldn't it? Just the two of them going at it. That would have been really cool. So, nonetheless, ladies and gents, let us carry on then to the next showcase. And that is, of course, our Sonic Velociraptor. Which, wow. Whoa, okay, I think this turned out exceptionally well. I like the tail and everything. That looks good. He's not as fast as he needs to be Sonic, which is why I said we could activate Compy mode to help out with that. So if we activate Compy mode, yay! Look how much faster he is. And look, we can have him fight Godzilla. Go! Sonic versus Godzilla. Who would have ever thought that that could be a possible fight? Whoa! Okay, that hurt. Whoa! That's a lot of splash damage right there. Godzilla can hit us from like way far away. Uh-oh. Look at this. Godzilla is chasing us. Run! Let's see. If I hit him, will he chase me? Uh-oh. He's doing a lot of stomp attacks. Hey! Run! Look at this. Sorry, there's something really hilarious about this. Alright, but here we go. Sonic, the Velociraptor going fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. You Sonic X. There we go. Alright, so with that in mind, then we will, of course, feature our last, but certainly not least, design for today. Actually, we can have all three of them out because we can summon it in here. So, let's go to our Pachycephalosaurus. And here is Rampardos, ready to strike and ready to fight. Look at that, Sonic, Rampardos, and Godzilla. I mean, what a combination, am I right? Whoa, bam, look at this fight right here. Uh-oh, here we go, Rampardos attacking Sonic, and now Rampardos is on the run. with the headbutt, ready to attack and take down all the other foes, all the other Pokemon foes in sight. I think this turned out quite well. I really do. I think it's kind of interesting because Rampardos is inspired, I believe, by actually a Pachycephalosaurus, because if you look at the design, it's like so similar to one another. So because of that, I'm pretty certain that it is inspired by it, and it's kind of cool to like go back and then use Rampardos as inspiration for what he's actually been inspired by. I hope that made sense. It sounded confusing, but I hope it made sense. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, of course, thank you guys so very much for watching. Have an absolutely fantastic day. I will hopefully catch you lovely folks here next time. Peace out. See you laters, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.